Good day, Earthlings. Now this is the preceding video for following the path of Pluto in Aquarius, entering into Aquarius, and also I'll be talking this time about the Kabbalah organization. So I'm going to start in the year 1056 AD. Let's move you back a little. So we've got the Pluto return into the zodiacal house of Aquarius, and we have the Empress Theodora dies of a sudden illness in Byzantium. This ends the Macedonian dynasty that Alexander began. So the dynasty of Alexander the Great was the joining. So Roman is supposed to be every man, meaning like from every continent of the world, all the races that are mentioned before, the Cascoid, the Azaic, the Mongoloid, the Indo, and the Negroid. So they were going, Catholicism was supposed to mean every and inclusive. It was supposed to be inclusive. But before that, there was the Greek. And the Greek beautiful architecture that we see all around the world and stuff like that was quite prominent. Probably had more of an empire than what we realize. And obviously in Jesus' timeline, the structures in that were also Greek there. We see it, say like the White House building in America, example, and we see those buildings all over the world. They're mostly called Greco-Roman, but we know that they are Greek and taken over by the Romans. Now, in 1056 AD, so the Macedonian Empire lasted for quite some time. That's approximately 1300 years. That's a decent amount of time. So the Macedonian dynasty ended, and Theodosius, nephew of Emperor Constantine IX, tried to take back the throne from Michael VI Bringus, who was appointed through the influence of Leo Paraspondylus. And he marched through Constantinople to the palace with his supporters. The Varangian guards stopped him, and he burst it to the Hagia Sophia, where he was captured and exiled to Pergamon. Pergamon, you'll find that in the Bible. They said that the devil's seat was there. Now I can't remember what book it was. I think it was when they were talking about the candles in the churches. Now the Muslims at that time also expelled 300 Christians from Jerusalem. So at that time in Jerusalem, the Christians were primarily the Orthodox Greeks. The Greeks had been living in the area of Roman Judea for quite a long time, and Syria, Palestine was quite a vast area, also Greek, in combination, of course, with the Indo-Syrian people. So the Western Roman Catholic Church and the Eastern Orthodox Church do a final split, formally split from each other in the year 1056 AD. The Norman conquest of England is about to fire up, causing a massive social transformation and begins feudal politics. The pagan kingdom empire reaches its golden era, uniting all of Burma. The Viking Age ends with William the Conqueror killing Harold Godwinson in the Battle of Hastings. So the Normans, of course, are a family from the Nordic people as well. So it's like all the Nordics were having a scrap. In 1071 AD, the Byzantine Empire is defeated by the Seljuk Turk army. I just put here a quick quiz. How do you spell Ashkenazi? And just think of those last 4 letters of the word Ashkenazi. It's going to become relevant in another future post that I'll put. Okay, now the Kabbalah in its practice says it is seeking to alter the divine realms through its forms of mysticism. The Jewish story goes like this. Shimon ben Yohai was a sage in the Roman Judea and Syria Palestina. He was born in Galilee, and both he and his son Eliezer ben Simon were Kabbalists who studied under Gamaliel II and Joshua ben Hananiah. Now these people are also relevant in Jesus' timeline. It is written that Hadrian had thrown Rabbi Akiva, the chief of the sages, of the mystics, let's call it, in jail, and Shimon, through the influence of his father, who was in favor at the court of Rome, was able to enter the prison. So remembering how Hadrian came into power, I'll go back to that later. And there he insisted Akiva teach him, but Akiva refused. So Simon threatened to tell his father, Yahweh, and this would cause Akiva to be punished more severely. Akiva died and Simon is ordained, like chief mystic, or chief of the sages, it has written here, but we know that mysticism is their practice. Now, Tiberias had been built by Herod Antipas on a site where there were many tombs. Simon sat naked in the sand until his skin was covered in scabs, and the prophet Elijah came and announced the death of the Roman emperor. So that's kind of like saying that the ghost, Elijah, came and announced the death of the Roman emperor. It doesn't say which exact Roman emperor, whether it was Nero or whether it was Hadrian. Okay, so let's just get this sort of like word mash, what I call, straightened out. The heathen are the Norse people, the Gentiles are the Greeks, the pagans are the Buddhists, and the Magi are the Persians. The Kabbalah began with Simon ben Yohai, and he wrote the Zohar, and he introduced Metatron. Metatron, everyone's like, Metatron, he's an angel, he's Enoch walked with God, so Metatron, he became an angel, Metatron. Okay, but probably not. Now, let us go into this. So, the Kabbalah is the Kabbalah, and the Kabbalah is a secret shadow government of Kabbalah, a committee of industry, military, political, and espionage intelligence with their archbishop, rabbi, high lama, high priest, lords, ministers, officers. They start and finish wars as it suits them. So, the fallen angel of war was Samuel. Samuel was the fallen angel that Lilith eloped with. Liz said that Lilith is the queen of the demons. I've mentioned that all the way back in one of my first eclipse beginnings of the Libra Aries cycle, because we had Lilith in there, Persephone was in there, and can't remember who the third one was, but there was three of them. Oh, Pandora, the earthling woman, which we are. Now, okay, so they start and finish wars. So the Kabbalah are the New World Order. They've been trying to do it for a while. In the Roman days, remember I mentioned, what does Catholicism mean? It means the all. So political assassinations are done by the Cabal. Terrorist acts are done by the Cabal to manipulate, weaken, topple anyone that poses as an adversary to their organization. They want to terminate communist ideals. They call them regimes. Communist regime. So they don't like the idea of there being equality between all people. The old tribal ways of earthlings, how we've always done it for many times, is something they're trying to eliminate. So they frame people for treason, they leak recordings and documents to suit their narrative. Reverends, secretaries, sirs, sultans, senators are also part of their the titles, along with their high priests, their lords, their ministers, the High Lama, the Archbishop. Now the Kabbalah is Jewish mysticism, began in the 12th century, so that's the 1100s, and as I explained to you when we started with the year 1056, obviously the age of Pluto in Aquarius is a revolutionary time, and then when Pluto goes into Pisces, these things begin. So these faith-based systems begin. Now, so in 100 BC to 1000 AD, this Kabbalah was called Merkaba mysticism. And they say that that is the origin of the Zohar text, the Merkaba mysticism, which gave birth to Western esoteric culture from the Renaissance onwards, and that's our Jesuits, our Theosophical societies. They are seeking to alter the divine realms and our earthly reality. So they're not going to win. And their objective is the same as the fallen angel's objective, the destruction of woman, earthling woman, and earthling man, and earthlings, and our earthling realm. So they're responsible for things like the cutting down of the trees, anything that causes destruction. They probably created the earthquake weapons and the geoengineering weapons as well. I would not be surprised. Okay, so the Zionist part began in 1910, and the university part of this Kabbalah mysticism Zionism began in 1920. So the first generation was a man called Gershom Scholem, Scholem. He was the founder of Hebrew University. And then Alexander Altman was the American initiator who studied at the University of Berlin. He founded the Institute of Jewish Studies in England, Manchester, to University College in London proper, Old London. So now remembering how I explained to you that the matrix is the artificial overlay upon our earthly realm with ley lines. And they first created this mystical ley lines. And then they put things in certain places. Obviously, they did churches and lots of other things as well, because they were trying to make that net work that they're developing. Now, then they went on to America. They joining Brandeis University in Waltham, Massachusetts. They authored 100 books. It was professor of Jewish philosophy and history ideas. Also, Alexander Altman became a professor at Harvard. He authored over 100 books on Jewish mysticism and got to be a professor which educates others into this mysticism. Now, when he was living in Boston, he hosted Sabbath meals at his home for his students. And that is a brief history of the man named Alexander Altman, who initiated the Institute of Jewish Studies, not just in England, but also in America. Okay? Now I'm going to jump ahead to right now. So what we have is Jared Kushner, Trump's son-in-law, and he is a Moroccan Kabbalist. I want you to understand what I'm saying on a deeper level, to do with mysticism and to do with the military, political, espionage, intelligence, archbishop, rabbis, high priests, lords, ministers, officers, reverends, secretaries, sirs, sultans, and senators that are all part of the Kabbalah, the Kabbalah. Now, in Jerusalem, Jewish informants widely believed that Trump would win the 2020 elections. A rabbi predicted Hillary's defeat would be Trump's miracle. A global Jewish network from Ashdod in Jerusalem in Israel to Lyon and Paris in France, from Buenos Aires in Argentina and Los Angeles and New York in America, led by the Pinto family, Pinto, are those miracle workers, self-proclaimed. This is in quotes. The election of Trump means there will be Shabbat candles every Friday night at the White House, and the Moroccan mystic Kabbalist blessed the White House. 2 days before the election in 2020, Ivanka and Jared visited the Ohel the grave of Menachem Mendel Schneerson. Schneerson, Schneerson. The grave is located at the Old Montefiore Cemetery in Queens, New York, who unexpectedly died in 1994 to seek his blessing. Menachem was 92, so it was an unexpected death because everyone thought that he was going to live forever. Now, let me go forward. Menachem, he was a Russian-American Jew born in the Ukraine in 1902. In his lifetime, many believed he was the Messiah. In 1978, U.S. Congress asked President Jimmy Carter to designate his birthday as National Education Day. It is commemorated as Education and Sharing Day. Okay, so Menachem Mendel Schneerson has a day commemorated after him. It is Education and Sharing Day. Now, he was considered a genius by 17 and had mastered the whole Talmud, including the commentaries. He married in Warsaw, Poland, and had 0 children in 60 years of marriage. After the wedding, they moved to Berlin. When the Nazi came into power, they moved to Paris. 3 days before Paris fell to the Nazis, they fled to Nice on the French Riviera on the Mediterranean Sea, then on to Portugal, and then on to New York, where he volunteers at the Brooklyn Navy Yard. He just volunteered. He just rolled up to the Brooklyn Navy Yard. Hey, how you going? I've popped on in to volunteer. Drawing up and writing and wiring diagrams for the battleship USS Missouri and other classified military work. In 1992, while praying at his father-in-law's grave, which is also now in New York and Queens, he suffered a serious stroke, leaving him unable to speak. It paralyzed the right-hand side of his body, and in 1994 he died. He is buried next to his father-in-law, who was the 6th spiritual leader of the Kabbalah and industrialist of spinning and weaving mills. Okay, so what I'm telling you is the Kabbalah initiated the first revolution. Now, that is I've gone forward, so I'm going to go back. Oh, I might finish here. So I've given you a stack of information just in this very small video, okay? So maybe you need to remember what I said carefully. I will read out Alexander Altman, Altmann, and Menachem, Menachem, Mendel, Mendel, Schneerson, Schneerson. I don't want to go into any sort of theories on this one. I'm just going to share the information. I do have theories. I have quite a lot of theories. And hopefully we can have a conversation about it. So if you're prepared to have a conversation, I'm all for it. Okay. I'm sending you my love. I am sending you my good thoughts. And we've got the election coming up very soon. I want everyone to be aware that it doesn't matter what you do. The winner has already been pre-selected by the Kabbalah. And the Kabbalah are going for the fourth revolution, the fourth Reich, the fourth revolution, and there is none that can stop it. The best that we can do is be extremely aware of it and always try to preserve the children, keep them safe. The children are our future, and everything is going to go through a change, a really big change. So I wish everyone the best. We've got 20 years, and I'm going to make it a woman's world because that's my assignment, and I will do my very best. So let's see who's going to win, okay? I love you all. Bye.